Thanks for joining us this Sunday. Rain falling over Portland this afternoon, and more could be on the way as we head into the evening hours. Let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri. And Joe, how much more rain could we see before the end of the day today?
Let's just call it plenty, and the heaviest amount of rain is going to be falling late tonight and into tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. Believe it or not, John, by the time we all go into work tomorrow and off to school, it's going to be relatively dry, but that won't be the case in between now and then. Here's that upper level low and that cold front that's been bringing in all the rain showers today, and it's all in part because of this atmospheric river. And this is what it looks like along the coast and the valley. Just a steady stream of rain, but that steady stream of rain will get pretty intense heading into the later part of tonight. Again, this is that atmospheric river that has just been aimed at the Pacific Northwest basically since late last night and into a good portion of today. But heading into the middle part of this week, we'll see a ridge of high pressure develop, bringing in more sunny and warm conditions. But we are still going to be seeing some heavy downpours over the next 12 hours or so. Here's what we've seen so far. This is since midnight. Basically about a quarter to about 2/10 of an inch of rain is falling throughout the metro area. By the end of the evening, I bet Astoria and parts of Cannon Beach will be looking at close to an inch of rainfall. There's no watches and warnings because of the intensity of the rain that we're going to be seeing overnight. But still, there's a good chance we'll be seeing a rise in some area streams and rivers, and can't rule out the possibility of seeing some urban street flooding as well. This orange color you see is the wind advisory that's in place throughout parts of the gorge and throughout parts of the central and eastern side of the state. But this is the heaviest amount of rain I've been telling you about. Arrives late tonight and early tomorrow morning. As we put into motion, by 7, 8 o'clock, we're going to be seeing those scattered showers, but expect to see enough rain intensity, John, that we could easily be waking us up late tonight and early tomorrow morning. But good things are on the other end of the forecast. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Okay, Joe, sounds good. New tonight, the local iron workers union is mourning the loss of one of its members after they were killed on the job this week. Portland Fire and Rescue tells us it happened just after 3 Thursday afternoon at the construction site of Benson High School. Samantha Deschaines was critically hurt in a construction accident. She died from her injuries in the emergency room on Saturday. Iron Workers Local 29 says there is an OSHA investigation underway. Portland police say a woman is recovering and a man arrested on felony charges after a kidnapping attempt early Friday morning. They say the 47-year-old woman jumped from a moving car to escape her alleged kidnapper, 25-year-old Ra Fett. Around 1:30 Friday morning, the victim told police she accepted a ride from Fett around Southeast 146th and Division. When she tried to get out near Southeast 112th and Division, he accelerated the car, keeping her from leaving. After a fight in the car, the woman jumped out and was able to run away. Officers later spotted Fett's vehicle at Northeast 82nd and Beach and arrested him. He's now booked on multiple charges, including first-degree kidnapping. Portland police arrest a man after he flags down an officer claiming he was being chased. However, they learned it's only after that man stabbed one of the 3 men chasing him. It happened just after midnight on Southwest 4th and Main. PPB says it was then that the suspect, 41-year-old Basir Noorzai, tried to run, but the officer caught up with him. They arrested Noorzai after they saw the knife was still in his hand. A safety reminder from Vancouver Fire Department after crews rescued 2 people and 6 dogs from a house fire. It happened just after 2 this afternoon near Northeast 48th Street and 47th Avenue. Crews arrived to find smoke coming from the garage and the attic, with 1 person still inside. Crews got them and the dogs out and put out the fire in about 10 minutes. The department is urging you to leave your home immediately during a fire and to not go back inside and search for pets. A separate fire in Vancouver has homeowners looking for another place to live. Vancouver and Clark County fire crews were called to a home off of Northeast 45th and Jarrett around 5:30 Saturday evening. Crews arrived to find fire coming from the garage. They were able to get it under control in about 20 minutes, but it had already caused extensive damage. No one was hurt. The Red Cross was called to help the displaced homeowners. Thanks to some federal funds, the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry is the new hub for a new heat monitoring center. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration selected OMSI to gather local temperature data to evaluate heat risk. Our Deidre Johnson shows us how the hub will work with community groups to help fight climate change.
A new center will tackle the issue of heat events head on.
The Center for Collaborative Heat Monitoring is a new NOAA-funded center of excellence focused on participatory science aimed at better understanding community-level heat exposure during extreme heat events, heat waves.
It will analyze how the different communities are impacted by the heat that's partly due to climate change.
Communities across the United States do not experience heat in exactly the same way. That heat is experienced in really contextually different ways based on things like geography and built environment and social and economic contexts.
OMSI in Oregon becoming the Pacific Northwest hub for the project. It will provide technical assistance and tools to help urban and rural groups better understand heat events.
We understand that we'll be working with community groups that Max's group and maybe some of the people from NOAA and other networks here in the Pacific Northwest will choose. And we can help connect the groups.
Besides OMSI helping with data on heat, the project will help raise awareness about climate change.
Broader public awareness of what is fundamentally our most challenging and hazardous climate imperilment in most communities across the United States. Heat is the deadliest weather and climate event in the U.S.
It will also help people make a difference in their own community.
Having the communities work on the science in our region. I mean, this is Pacific Northwest, so it's not just Oregon. But it's very much in line with how OMSI wants to be part of a learning community.
That was our Deidre Johnson reporting. Good news to report about a wildfire that's been burning in western Lane County. With the help of rain today, the Lettsome Mountain Fire has stopped making progress after burning about 60 acres. That's only about 10 more acres since yesterday's report when air and ground crews were sent to push back the flames. Oregon Department of Forestry says the more rain forecasted today and tomorrow, they're, quote, in a good spot there. We have a quick pedestrian travel alert tonight. The Hawthorne Bridge's south sidewalk will be closed for a few weeks for repairs. That's starting tomorrow morning at 7. Pedestrians will use the north sidewalk while cyclists will ride behind a barricade next to the construction zone. The rain was coming down earlier, but not hard enough to dampen the spirits of people attending the start of a local market. Today was the start of the 19th season of the Lynn's International Farmers Market. Every Sunday out Southeast 92nd and Reedway, the market will pop up featuring live music, special events every week, and a variety of celebrations along the way. One organizer tells us they keep the focus on the food.
The farmers market is really wonderful because it brings together so many different growers from our local region to be able to buy and source products from each other and keep our food system much more hyper-localized to get back in touch with the ways we can go about utilizing food within our own regions.
The market runs on Sundays from 9 to 2 through November.
He was a great man, he was a great pioneer of the industry, and we have a lot to thank for him. So, Dad, this one's for you. Cheers.
At the Rose Festival this weekend, there was time and space set aside to honor a key figure in Portland's craft beer community. Art Larrance, co-founder of Oregon Brewers Festival and several breweries, died earlier this week at the age of 80. On Saturday, we got to hear from his son, plus another man who knew Art back in his college days.
And he is a champion in business, and he's a champion in life. Art was a rascal in the best sense of the word. We had fun with Art, and it was a great privilege to be his friend.
Well, if you'd like a beer in memory of Art, the Brewers Festival will be back open at the Rose Fest on Friday.